Hey, welcome. So today we're going to review cat candy. So excited to do this. Let's dive in. So the first thing, I'm going to just explain how we're going to do this review. This is going to be two parts. So the first part, I am going to talk to you as a prospective customer and just share my feedback around how it lands on me. And in the second part, my colleague Anna Marie is going to give you specific design and user experience feedback. So let's dive in. Cat Candy, love the name. I love the vibe. This is the most Redditor website imaginable. Love this logo. So it's great. The font reminds me of Twitch a little bit. Um, so it's cool. It sort of definitely grabs my attention as soon as I land. I will say though, it's not immediately clear to me just looking at this what exactly you are selling. So, are you selling cats? Are you selling food for cats? Are you selling toys for cats? Are you selling all of the above? Not super clear. So, the cats need cat people. I get it. I think a lot of Redditors will certainly identify with that humor, and I thought I let out a little chuckle, but I don't know about the broader non-Reddit audience. And you know cats need as much attention as us humans. They need to eat, sleep, play, and sometimes they like to dress up too. So you're giving me a hint as to what I'm gonna get on this site, but that required like a little bit of thinking for me to do. So you might improve your conversions by just stating upfront immediately what someone is going to get on your site or what you're selling. So let's find out. Um, so the categories, that's cute. Um, I love the visuals. I think these are like really well done. I think you've laid them out well. I think it would be valuable if up top right here, I guess you've got the catalog, but if, so I guess I could click into it, but then it's just taking me into all of your products. Whereas I think it would be helpful to just be able to see the different categories up top as well. And that might solve the initial issue of me just not knowing what the site is about. Um, Not sure what clicking this cute little guy does, so let's find out. Nothing. So that might be a dead link, or now I'm a little bit disappointed that something fun didn't happen when I clicked that guy. So that might be something to look into. I'm not the biggest fan of this section. It looks a little bit amateurish compared to the rest of the site. I mean, there's a lot of cool artwork going on over here, but then this little blue section looks like, you know, something from the 90s. So maybe improving the look and feel of that. My colleague Anna Marie might have some thoughts on that as well. Um, 5.0 Google reviews. That seems a little, either you want to link to those reviews, or that's a little bit of a trust breaking moment there. Grooming tools, keychains, cat candy perch, cat beds. So I guess it's not clear to me why cat beds is just not another category and why it's a category of its own. So that's a little bit confusing. I guess it is, but then you have it sort of featured up front here, and maybe these are the products you're trying to sell the most. But yeah, that's a little in the layout, that's a little confusing to me as someone looking at this for the first time. Cat clothes. Oh my God, this is oddly terrifying. This is awesome. So I want a large, and I want it in purple. I'm kind of wanting to see what this looks like on a person. So let's see if we view full details. Is it there? No. So I like the bundling. Oh, I see a mission here. This is a great mission. I would find a way to make this more accessible, maybe adding it up top, or I think people generally want to see what companies are about. It makes your brand more relatable to me. It's tugging at heartstrings a little bit, which is always great. But it's a little buried down here at the bottom. And so if we want to go back, I think some of these images, they're funny and they're great, and maybe these are coming straight from the vendors, but maybe improving the quality of some of these images might be helpful. And like, oh, you guys donate to the Cat Foundation and you have a registration number. That's great. If I learn more. Oh, so this is asking me to make a donation. Uh, that's not what I expected when I hit learn more. I thought it was going to talk about your company's donations to the foundation. So that could be confusing, and you're taking people away from your site. I know it's to a good cause, but there's a chance that they might not come back. So that's maybe something you want to address, and maybe tie this into your mission and make the mission more prominent. Um, So yeah, I think overall, I gotta say, I like really love the vibe and this logo of the cat eating the watermelon is just hysterical, and like I feel like taken back to Twitch when I see this. So love the aesthetic, and a little bit of improvement here, and this website should be off to the races. And I'll hand it off now to my colleague Anna Marie, who's going to share some design and user experience feedback with you. Hope this is helpful.
Hi there, I'm Anna Marie. So let's take a quick look at the Cat Candy site from a design perspective. So as Rush mentioned, I really love how clear your brand is, right? It's really unique. It gives out this fun feeling that's communicated throughout, right, in these different illustrations and your font choices, all of that. So that's awesome. I really, really love that and want to make sure that you keep that. The couple kind of tweaks and design considerations that I would bring up is that the first thing that I saw when I landed here was a lot of different colors, right? So we have a purple, we have a blue, we have a green, and then there's purple again down here. And so it just feels like a lot. And then there's also some legibility issues, right? So this black on this purple, this white on this green, the contrast isn't super high. And so it's a little hard to read. And right as I scroll down, I know this gradient changes, so the text becomes more legible. But I would maybe consider one, picking, right, black and white are great colors to have, and then having one main color. So I'd say, right, yours is purple, and really sticking to those on the site, because I think that just brings a lot of professionality. And you can still have fun, right, with the illustrations and using the purple in different places to keep your brand, but it just makes things feel more trustworthy and it's easier to read and people to navigate through. So that's one thing. And then right with the gradient, I think that's a fun design tweak and maybe use it in some sections. But I think other sections might work better with just kind of blocked out color, just to keep things a little more professional and again really bringing that trustworthiness through the site. So right, even here having a green button, a blue button, the gradient background is just a lot and makes me a little cautious of, right, should I trust this site? What's their brand? So really fine tuning those types of things and making sure even like bestseller and sale, right, these tags match your brand, that they're consistent across different items. So those types of tweaks. The other thing on the home page, so just making sure that it's responsive. So things do stack correctly, right? But here I might even switch to kind of the hamburger menu sooner. just because having the menu stack on two rows is a little tricky to navigate. And then, right, I think this, right, is supposed to be your logo and it takes people to the home page. I might consider moving this around, so having this be in the left side and then having the menu over here instead, just because that's a little more traditional on websites to have this logo, the home logo, be on the left side. I know Rush mentioned, right, not being sure where that link directed. I think since it directs to the home page, that's a pretty common user experience. But I think maybe the confusion is just having in the middle feels a little unfamiliar. And then the final thing on the homepage that I wanted to mention is, right, so I love these sections. I love that you have both kind of different categories and kind of specific items highlighted. Again, just making sure legibility. So for example, this view all button is pretty hard to read. So yeah, just thinking through some of those colors. And then once we get to this section, it seems like there's some kind of cropping of this image. And then this image too seems a little small. There's a little inconsistency, right? With this image having rounded corners and this one not. And also there's a couple different columns going on. So this is left aligned, left aligned. This is floating in the middle, and then this text is centered. So maybe just thinking of the layout and trying to have this section a little more consistent. So if you go to kind of those more blocked colors, maybe this section has a background color around it, and you left align the text and you have the image floating without this cropping, and then that'll kind of match a little better with the rest. So just thinking through those types of things. And then the final thing I wanted to chat about, if we just click into an actual item, right, so I love that you have multiple photos of items. I love that if I click on different variations, the actual example photo changes. So that is awesome. The couple things again right here, just thinking of legibility of buttons. So this black on this blue is a little hard to read. And again, there's just kind of a lot of colors with the purple and the blue and the black and the green. So just thinking through those, maybe simplifying some of that. And then the only other thing, just again in terms of responsiveness, I notice on some pages where there are reviews, if I make the screen smaller, there's a little bit of overlap here that happens with that button and that text. If I make it really small, then right, it stacks correctly. So maybe just making sure that the breakpoint there, it stacks sooner before things overlap like that. So yeah, just going through and kind of tweaking those things, I think will make the site feel a lot more cohesive, again, trustworthy, but still want to make sure that you keep that fun brand that you've built because it is really special and makes it really enjoyable to go through the site. Hope that helps.